somebody that acts like you and your disability are a burden, let it go. Honey, let it go. They are not your friend because you are not a burden. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Here's a place we advocate for disability inclusion and spread awareness to make the world just a little bit brighter. My name is Janelle, and a quick visual description, I'm wearing a light, kind of bright pink shirt with some tie-dye. The background is that I'm here in my room. I would like to dive into this topic today, keep it a little less formal, and just chit-chat it up. I got my blanket here that is has my dog's face on it. It was cute little underbite. Alright, so now that we're comfortable, let's dive into what I want to talk about today, which is relationships and disability. Now, I feel like this could be a big topic. Like, you could dive deep in several different ways. So if you have any thoughts at all, at any point, you go ahead and drop those down in the comments, because I want this to be kind of a conversation as well. So, you have different types of relationships in your life. We've got friends, friendships, acquaintances, work partners or work coworkers. We have romantic relationships. We have familial relationships, all kinds of stuff. I think today I want to focus more on familial relationships, friendships, and romantic relationships. Mostly those three. I might dabble in a couple others, but we'll see. So I feel like when it comes to having a disability, I think if you were born with a disability, the way that your family and you interact is kind of all that you've known. But I feel like there's definitely a difference in when maybe you were born with a disability, but it didn't manifest until later, like Tourette syndrome or something. But I feel like that's for sure when you can definitely tell like the big difference between how they treated you. There's kind of like a before and an after, if that makes sense. And I think that just adds a different layer of complicatedness, a different dynamic of complicatedness, because it's that balance. It's a weird balance of, yeah, I have this disability now, but I'm still the same. Or yeah, now it's named, now it's diagnosed, now we know why I did X, Y, and Z, or why X, Y, and Z was happening to me. So treat me the same, like I'm not different. But then also, hey, I have X, Y, and Z now, or whatever. You can't ignore that as a facet of how I respond to things, or how I take things in, or understand things, or process things. It's a weird balance trying to keep it, don't baby me with, you know, don't act like it's not there at all. And they need accommodations. We gotta acknowledge that. But I know with familiar relationships, yeah, it's definitely hard. Um, when, disabilities, I won't say it didn't just pop up. It could have, it could have had an accident and, became paralyzed or something like that. But uh, if it's something that kind of was already there and now there's a name to it, there is always that kind of shift that I realized. I don't know. It can definitely change the family dynamic, or change the dynamic you may have with your siblings or parents or whatever. And I feel like even if you were born with that disability and that's just all your family knows and that's all you know of how you kind of relate, I know it can definitely be hard. I know a lot of siblings sometimes feel different because of, another sibling that has a disability, where the parents kind of prioritize a little bit more time or energy towards assisting them, helping them out with whether it's, their activities of daily living, caretaking, behaviors, anything. I know that is a definitely a dynamic that kind of pops up, that kind of can sometimes, I won't say aggravate the other siblings, but um, if that's all they've known as well, it's like, this is how you guys always are. I'm not saying, the sibling is right. I'm not saying the parents are right. I'm just saying it's definitely has a different dynamic that other people don't think about. Other people think about, maybe I was an only child. Now I have a sibling. Oh, you're taking all the attention. But then when you add a disability on top of that, it further complicates things. I also feel like with familiar relationships, um, you might have that auntie or uncle or grandma or somebody that just does not get it, that might not really accept it, um, especially depending on what culture you come from. It might be your whole family, that just doesn't get it. That says, no, that's you're just using an excuse, or no, you're fine. You just need, you know, you're just attention seeking. You just need more discipline. You just blah blah blah, and they just kind of dismiss it. And I know that can be really difficult too. If you are experiencing that with family relationships, my heart goes out to you, for sure. I definitely understand. We'll just keep it that keep it there. Definitely get where you're coming from. With that struggle, it is a pretty tough struggle to have, but alas, we will get through it. Hopefully, through friends that understand. When it comes to friendships, and disabilities, I feel like sometimes our friends can honestly be our strongest, like, advocates. I mean, family too. Yeah, like family are the people that see you with your disability as you are first. Most of the time before anybody else. They're the first people that kind of show us how the world may react to us with our disabilities, how the world may treat us. That's true, but I feel like friends as well do that too because they see that. They see this disability, they see you, or see this disability and see you, and they still pick you. They still say, no, you're cool. Like, yeah, let's be friends. Um, and when if anybody else is trying to mess with you or bully you because of it, they're like, skirt. No, in a place like at school or something where maybe your family might not be there. So I do feel like friendships, when it comes to disabilities, also plays a very active role in advocacy. Yeah, but that being said, sometimes it is not that way. I know oftentimes, once again, if you kind of get a disability later in life, when I mean later in life, I mean it could be like as a teenager, as an adult, as a 60-year-old. Um, but either way, just if you know, maybe we're not showing as many signs of a disability that you have, or did not necessarily have that issue, and then it developed, or manifested, then, that's kind of what I mean by that. I feel like sometimes you also get friends that just don't get it. Friends that don't understand, friends that may walk away, friends that may say, you're weird. I know for me personally with Rett syndrome, I had a friend. I had friends that were supportive and got it, but I also had people that were just there and said, "Why are you doing that? Please stop that." Um, and all the things. As of right now, I'm doing pretty well with my ticks. Pretty mild tick day, which is why I decided to record and talk about this. But it definitely hurts. It definitely is rough when those things happen, uh, for sure. But I think if I were to pick a positive that comes out of it, I would say that it kind of gives you a litmus test, like having your disability and seeing how friends or peers react to it, or react to you, treat you, or treat you differently. It's kind of a litmus test to show their character. Because if they are going to, for example, I'll use my disability with Tourette syndrome, they're going to sit there and laugh at me because of something that I cannot control, it's involuntary, then who knows what they would have done further on down the line if we were still friends. It could have been way worse. So I think, it kind of does give you a little bit of that litmus test to see people who, you know, have more pure intentions, and people who may just need to grow more, mature more, and have some things to work on. I will tell you this right now. If you are friends, if you are friends with somebody that acts like you and your disability are a burden, let it go. Honey, let it go. They are not your friend because you are not a burden, right? So let's use the example of anxiety, or, yeah, we'll just use anxiety. Or even, if you have something like, inflammatory bowel disease, or syndrome, whatever it is. If you have IBS, or if you have anxiety, and you're somewhere where, you're with your friends and they want to go out, you want to do this, let's go hit up this place, whatever, blah blah blah, and you say, yeah, let's go, and then maybe you need to pause or go to the bathroom more than usual, and you're stopping their fun, or, this is not worth it. It's not worth it because it, If your body is reacting the way it's reacting, you need to take care of it. You need to handle it. Or you're anxious and you're like, oh, this place is a little too much, a little too many people. Can we try this place? It's not accommodations or things you need are not an inconvenience. They are not. If you have friends that treat you like that or make you feel bad for needing to deal with something that's related to your disability, let them go. I'll say it louder for the people in the back. Let them go. Because they're not really your friends. I mean, you can talk about it with them. You can approach them and say, hey, I noticed whenever, bring up an example. We did that. I felt blah, blah, blah. You know, you can do it in that sense. If they're automatically defensive, that's their character coming out. I'm not saying dump all your friends if all your friends are like that. You can talk to them with it if you feel comfortable. But just know that you're not a burden. If they constantly make you feel that way, it's not worth it. That's all I'm saying. It's not worth it. I've been there. I've done that. It wasn't fun. Wouldn't get on that ride again. I feel like romantic relationships are a realm that I have not really dived into because of my disabilities, honestly. I feel like, of course, you see those dating shows. No, not shows, but like on YouTube. What is it? What is it? It's called? What is the name of it? I don't know. If y'all know, please put it in the comments. There's a show where it's like people go on a blind date, then the other person just so happens to interfere. You know, have alopecia, be a little person, have one arm or something, and the thing is like, oh, are they still gonna like be together? Like, are they gonna? Are you ready for a second date? Like, are you willing to go there and get their thoughts and stuff like that? But as the point is, you can see in those types of videos that the conversation either completely steers to avoid whatever the disability may be. Let's just say the person has alopecia and they have no hair on their head, and the person just like stay away from these things and makes it awkward, or they completely steer, and that's all they want to talk about. Well, when did that happen? Well, how old were you? I don't know. How do you do with it? What if it's cold? What if it's hot? Da, da, da. Neither is healthy. I get if people have questions, 100%. That's why I make content to help people and answer their questions. But always ask if the person is comfortable with you doing so before diving in. Like, hey, is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Hey, I noticed blah blah blah. Can I ask you about it? I'd love to learn more. I'd love to educate myself. If you come in a way that you want to educate yourself and learn and not just be annoying, then it's wonderful. But it's rough sometimes. I feel like, for example, for me, because of my disabilities, two really different reasons, but we'll talk about Tourette syndrome specifically today. There are times, even no person involved, we're not even thinking about dating, whatever, just me being me, living my life, brushing my teeth, whatever I'm doing. Sometimes I feel like the way that my tics may make my face look or my neck look or my body look, that I look ugly. Like, that is a thought. That is a belief. There's a thought that comes to my head often that is a belief that is there sometimes. Other times, of course, I'm like, well, shoot, I'm not ugly. It's involuntary. It's just like a sneeze. I'm sure if you slow mo everybody sneeze, they'd look ugly. And then I just like reel myself back in. But yeah, it's a thing. Sometimes it's a barrier for yourself within your own mind before you even think about how somebody else would view you romantically. And I feel like that can apply to a lot of different disabilities that people may have. That you might feel like this thing or these things that I deal with may make me less attractive to somebody else. And so it can be really difficult with dating or relationships romantically. So then you say, do I bring this up? Do I not bring this up? Do I bring this up on the first date? Do I bring this up on the second date? It's a whole thing. It's just an added thing that we have to think about that other people that are able-bodied or don't have a disability don't have to think about. I feel like maybe possibly another thing that may pop up, of course, I may not look or be as attractive romantically because of X, Y, and Z. I need to stop saying X, Y, and Z because these captions, they're going to be like, what? Because of this, I feel like another belief or thought that comes to my mind is Will they be embarrassed to be seen with me? Right? Maybe one on one, y'all are cool, y'all are chill, y'all are fine. Oh no, you're fine, your ticks are cute, whatever. But then when we go out in public, when we're just doing the daily, thing, maybe you've had a rough day, maybe you're already on edge, you're taking more, and people start staring, as much as we deal with it, and or I'll say as much as I deal with it, and I'm still somewhat used to it. Still, sometimes people look at me and I'm like, please stop. I know that that's probably how a romantic interest would be feeling too. So I cannot expect them to 100% get it right on the first try if they've never been in this experience before. But will they be embarrassed to be seen with me and try to avoid doing that in the future? That's a thought. It drives me nuts. It's a thought that's in there. And once again, I'm sure it could apply to a lot of other disabilities that other people have, whether it's something that is visibly apparent or whether it's something that's kind of more of a hidden disability. Who knows? And then there's also that added level of pressure, or that added level of thinking, oh my gosh, are they embarrassed to be seen with me, when it comes to introducing them, bring introducing you to friends or family, um, because people's people's other people's opinions about us or about something related to us has such a strong hold on us, and it really should. We should let it go, because it doesn't matter, but it does. You know what I mean? Like, it does still hits. So it's just an added element when it comes to romantic relationships. Like I said, I have not really delved into that realm specifically because of my disabilities. Um, so if anybody has any advice on that, put it down in the comments, because help us out. Help us out. Anyways, I don't know if there's really a solution to any of these things. These are just thoughts I had regarding disability and relationships. If you guys have anything to say, like I said, this is a conversation, so I'd love to see your thoughts on that, and the complexities that come along with having a disability and having relationships, friendly, familial, or romantic. Or if you have another viewpoint, like workplace wise or something like that, put that in the comments as well. Um, Please like and share, subscribe, do all the things to help make the world just a little bit brighter. Thanks, guys. Shine bright.